You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 80. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, when referring to the group of people who are on the show, or yourself in a group like this, do you prefer girls, ladies, or women? Jennifer Hetzel.
Ooh. It kind of depends on the group, but usually I go with girls. These are my girls, you know.
Okay. Gotcha. We're joined by a couple of special guests this evening. Cosplay Meg. Which do you prefer when referring to a group of like-minded people? Girls, ladies, or women?
Again, I'm going to agree that it depends on the situation. I, for one, have never been accused of being a lady. Well, some people accuse. I refuse to accept it. But girls just makes it seem, I don't know, too informal for some things.
Okay.
Granted, I would be okay with, hey, you guys, over, hey, girls, any day. So, give me generics.
Plus, you can always do the, hey, you guys.
Hey, you. Exactly.
So, and then our other special guest for the evening is Janna Anderson. Where do you come down on this? Do you prefer girls, ladies, or women?
I would agree with Jennifer. It really depends on the situation. If it's really casual, I would probably say girls, but I don't think I really use that ever when referring to myself in a group of other women or girls or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I know it like you said, it kind of depends on the situation and the group and everything else. Mm-hmm. But it leads into our main topic for the night. This is an episode I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and unfortunately, just event after event after event has happened and caused it to be postponed. And luckily, we were able to get a good group together tonight to talk about it. So, one quick side note before we get started. You know what? I'll save that to the end. So, tonight we're going to talk about what it's like to be a geeky girl. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up is within the last couple of years, there have been some different events or whatever that have been extremely harsh to the female community, whether it be online or in the geek community. But it's also been kind of an reoccurring thing. But my thought, my hope is that, things are maybe getting a little better. But that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. So, I got a group of geeky girls / ladies / women, because I don't know where it all came down on that. I'm covering all my bases. So,
that explains your question.
Or in another way to just put it, I just got a group of geeks together. So, let's talk about this. I've got a few questions here, and of course, if there's anything you want to throw out there as well, I'd love to hear it. So, but when did you realize that you were a geek? Now, I'm running off an assumption. There are a couple of assumptions that I'm running off of, and number one is our age. Being outwardly geeky has gotten a lot better now. It's gotten to where, you can kind of, let your freak flag fly, as it were, and most people are cool with it. But, just up within, I would say, the last decade or whatever, it was still kind of like you were still looked down for being, a geek, kind of an outcast. And, it might be doubly so for being a woman and being a geek. I don't know. That's one of the questions I had for tonight. So when did you kind of realize that you were a geek? Jennifer, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. Geez, I don't, have a moment or anything that I specifically can say that's when I realized it. But I think just from an early age, because I've always liked sci-fi and Star Wars and reading, and I was in band, from middle school on, even before that a little bit. So I think I just knew, like, I'm into this stuff a lot of people aren't into, and I'm okay with it. You know, it's fine, but that makes me different, and I kind of like that. Like you said, when we were growing up, it wasn't necessarily cool, or, you know, you'd even get made fun of and whatever, just for liking things that were different. And now it's kind of more mainstream. But back in the day, yeah, it was a little rough being different sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, school is definitely, middle school and high school are rough anyway. You know, you kind of find your clique and you kind of stick with it. At least that's what it kind of seemed like, you know, for most people I know growing up. But yeah, you know, being a geek and being part of that was, you definitely kind of found a group that definitely wasn't necessarily mainstream by any means, at least for a lot of people. So, but okay. Meg, when did you realize that you were a geek?
I'm kind of on the same track as Jennifer, where I've always liked Star Wars. I was always into computers and stuff like that. I was also in band. Jennifer, what did you play?
Oboe and French horn.
Very nice.
So
piccolo here.
As a side
Nice.
note, the way that Jennifer know each other is from middle school band.
So, yeah, nice.
Geeks unite.
Yes.
Okay.
Nerds for life.
And I mean, that's pretty much the same for me. Like, I mean, back then, I'm pretty sure Jennifer is the reason I ever saw Star Wars in like 8th grade.
Nice.
Yeah. We also watched the South Park movie together for the first time. So I mean, we've been going for a long time.
Okay, so when we were in middle school, we're really going to delve into some geekiness. We formed a club with another friend of ours. And what was the acronym? XS? It's for X-Files and South Park. And we had a little hand symbol, and we made like the logo. And we would go around saying XS to each other and had code names and everything, and it was the shit.
Oh my god.
That's
awesome. God, that's amazing.
I can't believe you went there.
It's all coming back.
You've been outed.
That's fabulous.
Or outed, excuse me. English.
So growing up, you felt that way. Did you ever feel I don't want to say left out or prosecuted is too harsh a word. Like, were you made fun of? Did you ever feel like you were an outcast for being a geek?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Any particular story you want to share, or have you buried that so far down in your psyche? You're just like, nope, not going back to that.
I try to bury. So it's one of those. It could only go up from there.
Gotcha. One of those. Okay, so one of the next questions I had was the toy aisle. Now, I've always been big into toys. I mean, hell, I'm holding a 3D printed PKE meter right now, but
behind him, right?
I'm still working on. But the toy aisle traditionally has like one aisle that's quote unquote girl toys.
And it's all pink.
And it's all pink and it's purpley and it's shiny. And you know, if that's you, great. You know, that's cool. I've got a niece. Mm-hmm. She loves being a princess. Her favorite princess though is Leia, and she loves to be Rey. And yeah, so but we'll get to that in a second. But anyway, so growing up, how did you feel about that? Did it bother you? Were you just like, okay, I'm okay in this aisle, but I'd rather go in this other aisle and look at this or whatever? We'll start with Jen.
So I actually liked Barbies growing up. I played with them a lot longer than I should probably admit, like well into middle school, maybe even high school.
Okay.
I was really into Barbies. I collected them. I still have the stuff, I think, in storage somewhere. Because damn it, I'm going to pass it on to my own kids someday. But
ooh, is it like in good condition? Sorry, as a collector, I'm like, ooh, is it in good condition?
Some of it might be, but it's not in like climate controlled. So I'm a little afraid.
Yeah.
What's going on out there. But yeah, so like I was really into that stuff, but I also, was drawn to like the Star Wars and all that. Although I didn't really start collecting those action figures until I was older, probably because I was a girl and I was like, oh, that's just not for me. That's not my aisle or whatever, like you said. But yeah, I never really felt like I can only go down this aisle. It was just kind of like, oh, well, I'm just not going to pay attention because they kind of precondition you that way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even think about it until a certain point,
What about you, Meg?
I had Barbies growing up. I was actually more of an American Girl kid. I have a collection of the American Girl dolls.
I read those.
I never really played with them, though, and it really made my mother mad.
Especially for what she probably paid for them. I can understand that.
They were my grandparents, yes. I'm very grateful for them. They're gorgeous dolls. It's just I'm not that much of a doll person.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I didn't have a whole toys weren't a big focus of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have anything that really stands out along the lines of toys. We were more of the study, do piano, I danced, did all that. So I was really too busy to...
Oh, so you were one of those kids.
Overachiever is the word you're looking for.
Gotcha.
Yes, I was. Was being the key operative.
That's hilarious. Janna, how about you? Were you strict? Did you stay to the one aisle? Did you just wander all over?
No, I never felt, as a kid, I never felt pressure to only play with girl toys or anything like that. I had some guy cousins around my age, and we always played like Nintendo 64 and all that stuff. And I always wanted all the stuff they had, like those kits where you can make bugs and weird stuff like that. And my parents didn't have any issues with it. And then I actually have this joking childhood trauma about this toy that I wanted, and it was I was 7 or 8 whenever The Nightmare Before Christmas came out, and it came out with this toy of Oogie Boogie, and you could unzip it, and there would be glow in the dark bugs inside, and I really wanted it. My mom didn't buy it for me, and I still remember it to this day. Every once in a while, I look it up on eBay and see if I'm gonna am I gonna buy it this year?
You're still bitter.
I'm still bitter, yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even know they made such a thing. Like, how much? Just the collector in me just has to ask. So, how much is it running for on eBay?
About 200.
Oh yeah, that's hard. Yeah. The next question I had was, when playing, did you default to the quote unquote girl role? So if you were playing with a group and there were boys, were you automatically Janine, or were you automatically, did you automatically fill the girl role? Was that kind of thrust upon you at all?
Yeah.
I don't remember, honestly, playing games like that.
Okay.
I don't really remember playing anything like that either.
Okay.
The one
I would imagine I probably did.
That happening with is we used to play we were the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my girlfriend would have to be yellow and pink, and then the boys were the other
Okay, now when it comes to Power Rangers, I was definitely the pink one. I will admit.
Yeah, my former partner, that was one of her complaints when she was younger. She always had to be, because her name is Kim, and she's like, I always had to be her. She wasn't my favorite, but I had to be her. They're like, but you're a girl, and it's your name. So, but yeah, so I thought about that. That's the reason I thought of that question. So, did you ever feel like you couldn't be a geek and a girl at the same time? Like, did you ever feel like they were opposing or contrasting ideologies? Parts of your personality.
I don't think I did. I might have felt self-conscious about things, but I don't think I ever felt like, oh, well, I shouldn't like this or I should stop or anything. Because
no, me neither.
It's just who I was. I like what I like.
Good. What about you, Meg?
I'm kind of in the same boat. I enjoy what I enjoy, and I wasn't going to let anyone take that from me. I still don't.
Awesome. Yeah, the other two ladies who were supposed to join us this evening, I have a feeling pretty much would echo almost every one of the answers y'all have given thus far. I know Lainey would have, because she'd be like,
boring
nope.
show. We're all the same.
So, I know, right? Jeez, I should have found some different people. No.
Sorry.
All right, so here we go. We're going to get
stuck with us.
Oh, no, absolutely not. So we're going to get maybe a little controversial here. So I don't think it's controversial. It's just a thing that happens. And I know at least a couple of you have brought it up on the show. Mansplaining and other issues of discrimination. Is it getting better? Or is it getting worse?
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Anyone want to go first?
The 2017 election for that one, or 2016. Sorry.
Oh God.
Okay, in your personal life, do you feel like things are getting like, okay, so you show up, I'll give you a situation. You show up wearing your Star Wars shirt, or you show up, to something or another. Do you feel like the chances of someone, to use the term, mansplain something to you and just automatically assume that you don't know as much about it as they think they do? Do you feel like that's getting better or worse, or do you think it's just pretty much kind of the same?
A great story for this.
Okay, absolutely. Go ahead.
So I'm a social worker, and I use my office to keep all my toys in.
Mm-hmm.
And I have,
which is awesome.
Thank you. And I have one of those Fallout bobbleheads.
Okay, yeah.
And so my boss's boss, he came by my office one day and saw my Fallout bobblehead, and he got really excited. He started to talk to me about it, and I'm talking to him about Fallout, and then he just stops me and he goes, "Wait, do you play the actual game or just the app?" And I was like, "What?" And so from then I had to felt like I kind of had to prove to him that I knew what I was talking about. So that stuff happens all the time. I feel like it's just kind of stayed the same. Depends on who you hang out with or talk to.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the person, because some people get it, and then some people you have to educate. The thing I think. Oh, no, I just kind of say the same.
Okay. Ryan in the chat room brought up something. He said, "Fun fact: guys do that to other guys too. Women as well." I know, crazy, and he does have a point. I mean, I have. On the episode Meg was on, and we were talking about the types of people that you meet at Comic-Cons. You always run into, that person, that the know-it-all that knows everything about everything, and and doesn't really matter who it is. The reason I brought that question up though is, working a lot of these cons with Lainey, she would run into it more than I would. Even though she's wearing, as much legit stuff as I am, it's like there were certain people that just kind of assumed that, oh, well, she must not know about it as much, because maybe she's a girl, because that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, yeah, she's a little younger than I am, but that shouldn't have been the factor. That's the only thing I can think of. And I'm just like, really? She's wearing not movie accurate, but a really accurate costume. She probably knows more about it than you do. So just shut your face. So
I did just think of something though, now that being geeky is kind of becoming more mainstream, you kind of get a lot of posers on either side, I think, men and women. So I think you get more people expecting fakers, and maybe that's why you might see some of them, but I'm not justifying it by any means, but the thought just popped in my head, because you do have people that are like, "I'm a geek, I've always liked Star Wars," and they've never seen it or something, I hate those people.
Yeah, and you get
fake
that
gamer girls and such.
And I was about to bring up that term. I hate that term, but I know there's got to be some of them out there. There has to be some of them out there to get the term, some credence. But it's, I don't know. It's. I don't want to get too political here, but I'm just like, it pisses me off. It really does piss me off.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. I know I'm in good company for that. So, but yeah, I from, like I said, I don't run into it a lot. And I mean, if it's something that I don't know a lot about, I definitely take the stance of, okay, well, obviously this person knows more about whatever, it may be a game or something like that. And just kind of, okay, well, go ahead and tell me about what it is. Cause obviously you're passionate about it and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it really kind of has opened my eyes over the last year, going and working these cons with Lainey because, we'd be having these conversations and I'd overhear something that's going on over there. And I'm just like, really? You're going to come in there? Like, no, that being said, whenever I start explaining something to someone, I usually start, I don't want to say basic. I'm not talking down to someone, but I definitely try to use the most basic terminology. And usually if they say, okay, I know what you're talking about, then I immediately ramp up to being a little more, okay, well, this person, probably knows what I'm talking about and moving on from there. But yeah, okay.
You mentioned wearing a Star Wars shirt and having things mansplained to you. That reminds me, I was out, I have obviously a random collection of older Star Wars shirts, just like we're talking 20, 30 different ones, one of which is the symbol of the Old Republic. And someone was like, oh, nice Jedi Order shirt. I'm like, actually, it's the Old Republic. It's like, no, it's not. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like,
oh, no.
About that. No, this is not the saber with the.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they're similar, but I didn't just buy the shirt because I liked it.
I dressed as Han Solo. The costume, I think that's my picture. But I wore pants and I had the blood stripe like going all the way down. And someone was like, "Oh, you're Han Solo, huh? You could be his daughter. Or are you his daughter?" And I was like, "No, I'm not Jaina Solo. I'm not, And he was like taken aback that I actually knew the name of the character.
Right.
Like, oh, you know some Star Wars stuff, huh? I'm like, well,
yeah.
Just a little.
That's number one. That's awesome that you made that poll because I would not have been able to make that poll. Secondly, technically it's been, it's not part of canon anymore. No, I'm just playing.
That's a conversation we can have because I have feelings about that. Okay.
I know, and we're not going to tap into that because I know there's a lot of deep-seated rage there with you on that one.
Say what, are we going to talk about Star Wars canon versus non-canon now?
Yeah, maybe that should be an episode. Jeez, woof.
That would be a good one in and of itself. That or Star Wars fan theories.
Oh, see, I don't know if I can do the fan theories. I've come this close, and granted, I'll only be able to wear it for a little over a month now. But I've come this close to buying one of those shirts that says "Your Snoke theory sucks."
See, I'm more one to buy into the Rey as a Kenobi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some of them are seem like there's some credence to it, but yeah, some of them, especially some of these wilder ones about Snoke, I'm just like, that's not. Whatever. That's not even a daydream.
Granted, I only buy into the Rey as a Kenobi because that means she's Mandalorian as well.
Oh Lord! See, there's your hook.
Yeah, you know me.
So let me ask you this: do you feel things are getting better for girls now in respect to being openly geeky? Like we talked about, you mentioned some stories, talked about when you were growing up, how you were pretty comfortable with your geeky side, but it was still. Like I said, it was still kind of one of those things that's like, oh, well, you're a geek, you're a little bit of an outcast. And do you think it's easier now for girls growing up to be openly geeky? Jen.
So I'm kind of torn on this because I feel like for me, my personal experience has kind of been yes. But then I also feel like women in general are kind of people are trying to put them in this box of what's feminine and you need to do this, this, and this to be a female. And to limit their ability to do certain things. So in that sense, like overall, I think, by saying that you're saying girls shouldn't like these things, they shouldn't be geeky, then I would say no.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like that's a hard one for me because I have varying opinions about how women are being treated in the world and in this country in general.
That's fair.
Yeah. Which is a whole discussion.
Meg, thoughts?
Growing up geeky, I feel like it may still be, not taboo, but out of the norm for a girl to grow up geeky. But, I mean, even just going back to Star Wars, girls these days have so many female role models in the sci-fi world that it's a great environment. It's great and it's terrible at the same time for people growing up to be geeky.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense at all.
No, absolutely it does. No, it does. And we'll get to that here in a second. Man, I wish Lainey was on this episode because she's got a lot to say. Janna, thoughts?
Yeah, I think like as far as what we're talking about, geeky stuff going more mainstream in that like small respect, I think it's probably easier for girls, like school age girls, to be into something because maybe like it's at Hot Topic, maybe it's a cool thing for people to like. I think like that aspect of it is probably easier. But there's more to it, and I agree like with where Jen was going, but yeah.
My thought process on this is, and like I said, of course, this show is all about our, personal opinions on it. Just from what I've seen, now I've also have a very small group to pull from, but working at a high school, it seems like I get a lot more young ladies walk in and know, at least some or most of the ships that Star Wars ships that I have hanging up, or recognize the old video games playing on a console, or, just some of the other geeky stuff that's going on in my office, and appreciating it. And like I said, now this is a very small sample, and of course it's just from my own personal experience, but I hope, yes, I guess to say, I've got, I don't have a daughter, but I have a niece, and she really loves Star Wars. And just recently she discovered Wonder Woman. And of course I'm extremely excited about that because that movie was awesome.
Yes.
But, and she's perfectly okay and enjoys, one day walking around in her bell dress and then the next day dressing up as Rey and hitting her brother with a lightsaber. So like I said, from my small, part of the world, I think it's getting better, but I also think it's getting better just to be, openly geeky regardless of being male or female. Like, I think it's definitely become more, the nice thing is
remember when we read, sorry. I was going to say, remember when we read Felicia Day's book and she talked about how she was like attacked.
Good point.
For being a female. Like that was only a few years ago. And
yeah.
Granted, she's a celebrity and people attack celebrities harsher. But so, yeah, I think there's still a sect of the population that just can't get over doing things.
And they probably never will.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't, because I mean, I wasn't necessarily going to bring up Gamergate, but that was an absolute nightmare, and yeah, I'm not going to get started on that because I have a lot of feelings and may start yelling. I had another question and I forgot what it was, and you just brought it up. I can't remember what it was. So, does anyone have anything else they'd like to add to the conversation?
when you put us on the spot like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to have more people, and I thought it was going to... So I was like, oh, I don't need to write quite as many questions. And frankly, I was running out of stuff to say. But I mean... what I was going to say was, the tide seems to be rising for all geeks. So everyone is kind of, rising up. I mean, you can't. Okay, so let's look at it this way. The last two movies that have actually made any money this fall have been the It reboot that came out a little while ago, and then Thor has crushed it pretty much at the box office. Everything else has done garbage. So you have a horror movie based on a Stephen King book and a movie about a superhero and multiple superheroes. But it's a good time to be a geek. And I think that kind of goes, for everyone. So I'm hoping that as it becomes more mainstream for everyone and more socially acceptable, it's helping out, both sides of that. So Eugene forgot how to show. Yes, thanks, Cyrus. I forgot how to show. Ass.
Yeah.
Well, if that, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up with the topic then. Like I said, Lainey, I'm sure has a lot more thoughts and stuff on this, but she's not here.
I'm surprised nobody's mansplaining in the chat room. Like smart.
I'm sure someone probably would mansplain in the chat room, but they would do it ironically because we have. It seems like we've got a pretty good group in there, so.
That's what I meant. Like.
Yeah.
Being jerk.
Sorry, I was busily counseling Lucy.
Okay. Mansplain what mansplaining meant to me once, ironically, Are
you serious?
Yeah, he was like, well, you see, mansplaining is when a man explains something. He was totally being an asshole, just being funny.
Okay. That's like the inception of mansplaining.
Yeah. You jerk.
That's hilarious. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks and pans for the week. Would anyone like to go first?
I will go first with Chris Hemsworth abs in Thor Ragnarok.
I still need to see it, but I'm going to go ahead and back you up.
But also the whole fucking movie was hilarious. And
you know what? I'm going to go ahead and back you up on that too.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You saw him for like a good 2 minutes at least. It was a funny movie, though. I don't know the last time I laughed that much. Well, Spider-Man was really funny, but, it was just like nonstop, and it was different from all the rest of them, I think. So, I don't know. It was great.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. Like I said, I've got two picks and pans for the week. My picks for the week is Thor Ragnarok. That is one of them. My wife and I went to go see it. My wife doesn't always go watch all the Marvel movies with me, even though every time she watches one, she's like, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. But she specifically will go watch it because of Chris Hemsworth. And yeah, I mean, he's a good looking dude. He can act. He's funny as shit. It's like, dude, leave something for the rest of us. Okay. Like, you don't have to be everything. But if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, definitely go see it. Since Meg hasn't seen,
hang on. Do I need to cover my ears?
Well, there's a specific, no, I'm not going to say his name. There's a specific person that is in the movie. You know what? You've seen the trailer for it, right?
Some of it.
Okay, then okay. All I'm going to say is the character they got to play, who's kind of not the big bad, but definitely an adversary in the movie. I have really, really enjoyed these last several Marvel movies where they have basically hired an actor who is known for their personality and just let him go. Like, they obviously handed him the script and we're just like, all right, well, here's the lines, go. And like, just let him be himself because it was great. We get to see that with some of the different people in some of these newer Marvel movies. And it's just, I love it. I just absolutely adore it. So, and the other one, my other pick for the week is Stranger Things season 2. My wife and I have one last episode to go to finish the second season. I will say the third to last episode, which is kind of the side story with Elle, is a little odd, but the rest of it I'm loving. And as much as I didn't want to, Steven's not that bad a guy, I guess. Because he was a total douche in the first one.
Yeah. If I had to pick between Steve and Jonathan, I would pick Steve.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting fact. So it was brought up on a podcast that I was listening to. I forgot what his name is. He's the love interest. Played Sam. He was Rudy. What's his name?
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Thank you. Did you notice? Yeah, absolutely. Did you notice that his character was very? He played that character a lot like how you would expect. And now I'm blanking on his name as well. You know what? Screw it. I can't brain tonight. I'm gone.
Did you catch the Goonies reference?
Full story,
yes.
Hansel.
Yes, I did catch the Goonies reference. So
okay, good.
Oh, there were so many references, and not the Ghostbuster stuff that they did was great. Oh, the Ghostbuster stuff.
I bet you were rolling.
Yes, the whole and actually, you know what? It kind of goes back to our topic tonight when they're like, "No, I'm Venkman. No, I'm Venkman.
Venkman.
Why am I Venkman? Because I'm the black guy." Mm-hmm. You said it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I freaking love that. So, Meg, do you have a pick or pan for the week?
I'll take a pick. The announcement of another Star Wars trilogy does not revolve around the Skywalkers screwing up the universe.
I heard about that. I only got to read a little bit about it.
And I know we haven't seen The Last Jedi yet, but I have faith. I have faith that it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the new Star Wars.
Granted, that might also be my bias that we get to see more of Phasma, but you know.
True. Yeah, and you kind of have some interest there. So
I only have a little bit of bias towards certain Star Wars characters. Okay.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. So, Janna, do you have a pick or pan for the week?
Yeah. So we started playing maybe a little bit more than a week ago. Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, nice.
Super good. You get to like possess everything, dinosaurs, whatever. It's really fun. We've been doing that a lot. And not a new thing, but I finally found a Game Boy Advance SP, so I can play my original Tetris cartridge from my Game Boy from when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty much all I've been doing all week, and actually all I was doing while we were on the phone.
How far have you gotten in Mario Odyssey?
I haven't gotten too far. It's on my roommate's Switch, and he takes it to work sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But I've been watching everybody else play it too, and it's amazing.
Lainey had a brilliant idea, and I don't know. I don't think I would pull it off, but she had the idea that for Halloween, of course, I went in my Ghostbuster costume. My oldest son was Luigi, and my youngest was going to be Mario at first, but he decided he wanted to be a fireman at last second. It was like, okay, that's fine. But so it was. We had a Ghostbuster, we had a fireman, we had Luigi, and then Lainey went along with us, and she was dressed up as Princess Peach. And I was showing her Mario Odyssey, and she's like, "You know what you should have done? You should have bought one of those blow-up T-Rex costumes and put the Mario hat on it with a mustache." And I'm like, "Oh my god, that would have been brilliant!"
Yep. Yes,
that's exactly what it's like.
Love those T-Rex.
That would have been great. In fact, I have to be honest, I'm still kind of playing around with the idea because it would be so awesome.
Make it happen.
Wizard World is in a week. I'm just saying.
I know, but I have an appointment to show up to meet a young lady that wants to meet some Ghostbusters. So, yeah. So, but that may still have to be on the back burner. That's a pretty damn good idea. I'm like, damn it! How did you think of that? I wish I thought of that. That's awesome. As always, you can find us on epicallygeeky.com. We record the show normally every other week on Saturday night, but we've kind of had to change some things around. That being said, before I go through the rest of the spiel, just a quick update on what's going on. The reason why I know we said we were cutting back to every other week, and some of the other shows have been kind of spotty and stuff. Recently is I had a family emergency. My father had a massive asthma attack and was taken to the hospital, and his heart stopped literally for 5 to 10 minutes. Luckily, he was at the ER. They gave him CPR. We don't think he lost any, he constantly had circulation, which was a good thing. But he's been recovering. So the last week has been talking to him on and off once he got off the ventilator, and my brother and I had to run down there immediately. So just a heads up, I'm going to try to keep doing the show about every 2 weeks, but if something comes up, I'll try to put information out there on the Facebook and Twitter feeds. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now, so it's been kind of hard keeping a schedule, even what little schedule we've had right now. So, but as I said, you can find us at epicallygeeky.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Epically Geeky. If you haven't, please check us out on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. It really does help out. There's a place for you to leave a review. Don't worry about that. Just tell us what your thoughts. Do you think things are getting better for geeks in general, or if you are a girl geek, are things getting better for you, or that would be a good place to do that. You can again just put that in the little review section there and make sure you hit 5 stars. So, we also have a couple other shows on the network. We have the Marginally Geeky show that actually will drop tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, it would have been last week. And we reviewed I Am Legion, I Am Bob, and really enjoyed that book. If you've heard about the book and you've been kind of thinking about reading it, definitely check it out. Listen to the episode.
There's spoilers, so maybe read it first. But.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of spoilers, but if you want to kind of get an idea of kind of what it's about, because it is hard to do an elevator pitch on it. Ray tried to give the elevator pitch on it at the beginning of the show, and I'm just like, yeah, that just kind of really scratches the surface even then. So
I was telling someone about it yesterday, and he was like, tell me everything you're saying makes it sound like Futurama, and I would say something else, and he'd be like, okay, when you tell me something that doesn't make it sound like Futurama, then I'll read it. And I'm like, I give up because you're an asshole, but apparently that's the overture, is that it's Futurama.
I could see that kinda, but not really. Yeah, it sounds like it's just an asshole. And then we have Epic Rhythm and Brews, which, as we mentioned at the top of the show, or maybe before the show, comes out sporadically. Isn't Facebook on the World Wide Web? Yes, Ryan, Facebook is on the World Wide Web. Oh, I love our chat room. And then you can find our individual wacky adventures online. Jennifer, where can we find you online?
Instagram and Twitter at Het's Gonna Be Me.
Meg, where can we find you online?
You can find links to all of my social media and other accounts at cosplaymeg.com. I am at Cosplay Meg, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. Not sure what all, Twitch, several other things. But cosplaymeg.com has all of my links on there.
Excellent. And go check out her stuff, because it's completely finished, right? Your Phasma's finished, right?
My Phasma is finished. I have not done a full test fit yet, which...
Really?
Okay, funny story. I had my mother try to help me put it on.
Uh-huh.
My mother, who has no experience with costuming and thinks it's all crazy, it did not go well.
Ooh, okay.
She had issues with snaps and hurt herself, and it was all my fault. We were 3 pieces away from me having the full kit on, and she gave up. And I'm sitting there in this fiberglass.
Did you record it?
Do what? No, I did not. I should have. But then again, I shouldn't have, because things were said that, yeah. Even more things were said when she left the garage and went back inside to pour another glass of wine.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Needless to say, I had one after that as well.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I can't wait to see pictures of that thing when it's finished because the chrome on it looked awesome.
Oh,
I was
I've seen
very
better
impressed.
chromed ones, but I am happy with mine. I might look a little trash compactory, but I'm hoping to find some help to try it on within the next week because our local GameStop is doing a Battlefront 2 release.
Really?
And they invited the 501st, and so if I can sneak in there as Phasma, a buddy of mine's going to bring his Kylo. We got a couple TIE pilots. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
Wouldn't it though? I just have to find somebody who can help me slap all this stuff on and pray to goodness it all fits still. I may have gained a little weight since I started working on it, so it's kind of a problem.
Well, Halloween candy sucks. So
right? I'm like, hey, thanks to the corset, if I have to do it under this armor, I will make it happen. The struggle is so real.
Girl, tell me about it. The jumpsuit is not fitting like it used to. So, Janna, where can we find you online, or can we find you online?
You can't. No, I don't have any. I don't have anything public because I'm a.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's perfectly fine. It's cool. Believe me, we have people that don't have anything online. We have Chris, for example, had things online and decided, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, and has apparently been really happy with not being online anymore. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay. So, and you can find the show and the website at Epically Geeky on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.
But,
yeah,
they figured it out.
Little taste.
Well, I went ahead and put it. We're back streaming live again, so yeah. Actually, that would have been a good thing to talk about. So, okay, obviously, everyone here is into Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
okay.
To varying degrees.
To varying degrees. Some of us don't have full, armor and stuff that we can wear.
But I resemble that remark.
Yes, you do, lady.
I only have 4 Star Wars costumes.
Well, it beats my no Star Wars costume, so I'm gonna do the Jedi robes because I've got the lightsabers. I keep telling myself no. I want to lose a little more weight before I commit to that. It's kind of like a weight goal, as it were. So, yeah, and honestly, my dad having this come up has kind of lit a fire under me again, which I kind of needed. So, started working out again this week. Like my legs are still kind of sore. So,
good. I need to start working out again.
Yeah.
The extent of my working out was going out to bonfire last night and sitting in a swing in the freezing rain for 5 hours.
I saw that. You looked cold.
Oh my God. Because I don't put a lot of layers on when I go up in a swing because normally you're moving around and you're staying warm. I didn't expect it to rain for 5 straight hours. So I'm up there. I had a tank top, a long sleeve shirt, and then a t-shirt with the sleeves cut off and jeans. And it's raining on me in 50-degree weather. Oh my God, it was miserable. And I fell asleep still not having feeling in my legs. The things we do for the stuff we love.
Mm-hmm. So, actually, that's a pretty good question. So Jen, what all would you say you're into?
Like growing up or now or both?
You know what? Both. It's a good question.
I mean, I've always been into Star Wars and sci-fi fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, all that stuff. I I was obviously a band geek. We talked about that. And I watched a lot more TV back then. So like, yeah, the X-Files and Charmed and stuff. I was huge on those kinds of shows. And I don't really watch much TV anymore. But now I'm more into the movies and the books and stuff for various things. And I used to play like Super Nintendo. Growing up, I don't play many games anymore, but I do still play the older systems and like Guitar Hero. But I also like geek out about other things that aren't traditionally geeky, but music. I love to cosplay. Obviously, that's geeky, but just like, I don't know. I feel like you can be a geek about anything. Like people are geeks about food and cooking and, cars, and even I think fantasy football is like one of the geekiest things you can do, even though it's a jock thing.
Like Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Right? So yeah, like, I don't know. I tend to like go crazy over things, random things in life that aren't quote unquote geeky, but to me, I geek out over them. That makes sense.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's been the definition. That's the new definition of being a geek or geeky, is finding something that you're extremely passionate about. So that's why that's why whenever I asked that original question, are you a geek or a nerd? I consider myself a geek. Yes, there are some nerdy things that I'm into, but I there are some things I really geek out about, like, the 3D printing. I've gotten really geeky about that, and so on and so forth. So.
Oh, and I helped invent this festival for geeks once, so I guess that's one thing. That's a thing. Which may or may not be called Geek Fest. We don't know, to be determined.
Yeah, totally. Like, I'm a really big like sci-fi, horror, fantasy nerd. Me and my friends are at varying levels of reading the Wheel of Time series right now.
Is it any good?
And it is. It's really good.
Okay.
Then also on top of that, like, we're kind of craft nerds too. This is the second day in a row we've made soap. So
I saw that on Facebook.
I've always wanted to make soap.
What'd you say?
I said I've always wanted to make soap. It seems like it'd be fun.
It is fun. It is. So, I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. I mean, like, we've crocheted so many things. Squids. There are crocheted squids on my couch. So it's pretty nerdy over here.
Awesome.
Sai is saying no Wheel of Time. Apparently he read it and didn't care for it.
He's a fool. I don't know who he is, but.
So Meg, what all are you into besides Star Wars and cosplay?
Besides Star Wars and cosplay, I'm getting into 3D printing. I'm a crafter. I do a little bit of gaming, not as much as I would like, but time kind of gets in the way of that. I'm an IG professional working collegiate sporting events, so my life revolves around sports and computers.
Mm-hmm.
So I make time for what I've got, but
oh God, working in the IT field, you get mansplained to all the time, I bet.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Oh my God.
See, this is what you should have talked about during the show.
But then
yes,
also,
but I don't consider my profession particularly geeky.
Really?
Well, I'm of the type that I believe that geek and nerd and that sort of thing, they're separate categories. Like, my geek life is my cosplay, my conventions, and all of that stuff. Granted, the IT stuff, yeah, it may be geeky to some. I feel it's more nerdy.
So on that same kind of topic too, like from the other perspective, I often get men who are IT guys, right, at my job, and they come to like fix something on my computer, and they automatically assume like I don't know how to get to the start menu. I don't know what a USB is. So there's that side of it too.
Oh yeah. Try explaining to collegiate football coaches why they can't their email longer than 30 days.
Oh my god.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is so real. But I've gotten to the point where I can... Sorry, go ahead.
I said the best conversations happen after the show. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. In fact, I may just go and record it and put it on the show too, whatever.
Wait.
Be like, hey, here's the after action.
Clean.
Encore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the after show.
So that's interesting that I mean, okay, because I can see what you're saying. I work in IT but I do consider it like it's not in the realm of my interest. It's my job. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
I mean, yes, I'm interested in it. Yes, I love my job. But at the same time, it's kind of a different category. It's different when you have to do it.
yes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I used to really like modding computers and like, trying to get the most out of them that I possibly can. And now that I like work on computers during the day, when I come home, the last thing I want is to deal with the fucking computer.
There's a reason I have 5 separate desktop towers in my closet, all Frankensteined in different bits and pieces, but none of them are functional.
Oh no.
Because I hit fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I have to deal with stupid all day. Yes, I know you're not rated anymore. I don't have time to deal with fixing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a desktop sitting in my office in my guest closet that I was given that I need to go through and clean up. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to turn this into a main cabinet. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And I'm just like, I probably just need to get rid of the damn thing. Of course, part of me is like, size they're talking about, the quality of the show, the streaming or whatever. And yes, we've had some issues. At least we didn't make drops tonight. But I've got a bad feeling I may just have to like pop for a really cheap newer laptop or whatever. Because technically the hardware I'm running on, these are both 2012 models of a Mac. So
Ew.
Yeah, I mean it runs fine for normal stuff, but it's just this version. Well, the other problem is I've only got about 30 gigs left on this 500 gig hard drive. I've got a new hard drive I'm about to drop in my Mac Mini. It's actually a 2 terabyte drive with 8 gigs of SSD RAM. So I'm hoping the SSD is enough to hold the OS and it will cause it to run a lot faster and maybe solve my issue. And if it doesn't, then the Mac Mini may just become my server for other stuff, and I just buy, like I said, like a cheap laptop and do the show on it. So we'll see. Wind blows.
Yep. My ultimate goal was a digital media streaming center. I got a 3 terabyte internal like 6 years ago when that was a lot of storage. Never put it in anything.
Well, like I said, I just bought this 2 terabyte, and like I said, I was like, oh, 2 terabytes, that's not bad, especially for the smaller drive, and it was only like $70 or whatever. But it was like, oh, it's got 8 gigs of SSD, and I'm like, ooh, that might actually speed things up because it's got 16. I've got 16 gigs of RAM in this thing. It's just, it's getting older, and you can only do so much with it. So,
and I'm getting older too.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, there's another thing I'm geeky with. Karaoke. Does that count?
Me too, girl.
Yep.
I haven't done karaoke in so long, but it's my life.
Oh, yeah. Just music. I'm a music geek in general.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, me too. And actually, like, one of our, like, friend group things right now, I don't know if any of the rest of you are nerdy about this, but we started kind of an accidental nature documentaries and chill, where we literally just chill and watch nature documentaries.
What? Hello? You don't know if any of us are into nature and stuff, but hashtag Everyday's Earth Day.
Oh, yeah, besides you.
Hashtag shots fired. camera.
Documentary.
Like a thing.
The thing I'm okay with nature documentaries. I'm really tired of shark documentaries though, because my one boy Nick is all about sharks, and he loves watching shark documentaries. Oh, it's just it's the same thing over and over again. Although I am really loving. Have you seen these clips they've been putting on Facebook and stuff of Snoop Dogg narrating Planet Earth?
Oh my God.
It is
yes, I
so
have. Yes.
good. So good. The first one is that lizard, that's being attacked by all the snakes. Yeah. He's like, at first I thought he was, I thought, oh man, he's saying the wrong word. He's like, yeah, that lizard looks like a Geico. It looks like a Geico because I got about 15% chance of making it. And I'm just like, I was dying. And I saw another one. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but it's the, otters and the crocodile, and I was like, okay, damn, I'm gonna have to watch that later. So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg narrates Planet Earth. I'm good with
Yes.
That's like really what he's thinking when he watches things is the best part. He's just like saying what's in his head.
Yes, and it's probably exactly what we're thinking. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh crap, running. Sorry.
Especially that one with that lizard, because that lizard was having to book it. I was like, oh my God, where the hell are all these snakes coming from? Because they were just coming out of everywhere. They're saying they almost, Ryan said he almost had a seizure when Meg dropped her camera.
Oops.
Oh Lord,
So,
Sai should do the voice.
What, you mean my normal video isn't going to make you have a seizure?
Oh Lord, no, it's fine. What were you saying, Jen?
I said, Janna, what did you think of your first podcast experience?
It was fine. I was a little nervous.
It's just like talking with a group, like a group chat or something on the phone.
Yeah.
That's what I think of it as.
Yep, basically.
See, my first experience was I was rolling solo on this.
Yeah, poor Meg. She showed up, and I'm like, oh, by the way, so all the other people who said they were going to be on aren't on. So it's just you and me, okay? Okay.
So I thought that was going to be an actual, like, y'all drinking on the air, which is why I think, not going to do it. But then when I realized it was just things that you would drink at cons, I was like, oh, I totally could have done that.
See, I thought it was just going to be drinking on the air, too.
Okay, then I guess Sai is not the only one I don't, explain the show well to, so.
Oh, and then you're
My
like,
apologies.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Description on that one, but I was like, oh, I don't have much to contribute to this because I don't drink, so.
Oh, man. I didn't do my homework for that. It was
but you came up with some really good ones, though.
Because it's real. Like, those are things she's actually thought, man, I need a drink after that.
Oh, hell yeah.
To the smelly guy that comes up way too close.
Smelly guy with no sense of personal space. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the mansplainer, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got a couple of cosplay friends that I have never met in real life. But if we ever go to a con together, we're just going to take a day and sit and drink and roast the ever-living bejeebus out of everything we see. And it's going to be fantastic. And I'm not talking like people who, make their own stuff and do all the work and stuff. No, the people who go out there in a store-bought suit. Oh, yeah, I made this. And I'm like, I saw that on AliExpress last week for $60. You didn't make it.
Oh, by the way, when you guys were talking about all the Harley Quinns and Deadpools, like, that's exactly what I think every time I go to any con, because it's like, oh, great, another Harley Quinn or another, whatever this year's big movie was.
I mean, and everybody complains about Harley Quinn on Halloween. It's like, dude, how long have men been dressing as Batman and nobody bats an eye?
True.
That's a legitimate point.
Which, by the way, Jimmy, Roman cosplay.
I love Jimmy!
I met him at HotCon a few years ago. He's pretty funny.
He is precious. First time I met him when he was in his Deadpool, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah, when you were talking about, oh yeah, my friend Jimmy in Austin that does blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, I know him. Where are you at? Where do you live?
I'm in College Station.
Okay. So were you at the con
nowhere
we were
compared
at,
to everybody?
Do
what?
Last year?
Do what? Sorry.
STX. Were you at STX last year when Eugene and I were there?
At Brazos Valley, I was a cosplay guest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was around the corner, like where we were.
I was
like
in
you
the
go down
corner.
And, yeah, she was around the corner.
Met because I went around like giving my cards to everybody and scamming people.
But no, I believe I've spoken to y'all at STX, at AggieCon, and possibly at Geek Fest, not this past year, but the year before. I was there with the Mandalorian Mercs.
Okay. You know Daniel?
Daniel who lives in Killeen?
Yeah, Daniel Kahn. He does
yes,
the local.
I know Daniel.
I went to high school with him.
Oh, wow.
We were in band together, actually. Yeah.
Oh Lord, you and your band people.
Hey, all three of us are band people. What about you?
Me? No, I can't read music. I have no music ability. Believe that is
You're a
one
little
of those.
outnumbered there, huh?
Oh no, absolutely. And like it amazes me to like. That's one of those things like, writing, filming, editing, stuff like that. I can understand. I can deconstruct. Music, I have no clue. I'm just like that's like fucking magic to me.
See, and to me, that's like computer coding. I mean, I know it's a language, and I just haven't taken the time to learn it. But man, when I do try, I'm like, oh my god, my head's gonna explode on this shit. But
yeah, I'm not a computer coder either. I can hack and slash stuff together, but like just flat out writing code, it just does not. I've tried multiple times to learn like CSS and some of the other programming languages, and it just does not. My brain does not compute. I'm like, no, I'll just make it physically. Really? Thanks, Sai. Eugene thinks you read music. No, dumbass, you listen to it. Gosh.
Right.
Thanks, Sai. Yes, you were mansplaining that to me, asshole. Change your damn schedule. Come back on the show, asshole.
So, Janna, what level are you on Tetris?
Oh, it has all of my old scores from whenever I was a kid. And so the first night that I turned it on, I got pretty far. I was on level 23. I had over 200,000 points, right? It goes to the next screen. It doesn't even let me log my score because all my scores from when I was 13 years old are in the 500,000s.
Wow. That's awesome.
To get back to my own level.
I hate to tell you.
Oh my god, that's a terrible mistake.
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 31.
Okay, you might get close. I'm going to tell you. I mean, going back and playing some of these old console games with my boys, I'm still okay at it, but I'm definitely man, I remember when I used to go through this. I used to be able to beat the original Super Mario Brothers 3 times in a row without losing a single life, and now I'm like, oh, geez, how the hell did I ever do that?
I'm pretty good at Tetris, but now I'm getting up into the 300,000, so maybe I'll get back on my childhood level.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario, man, I always joke that one of my greatest weaknesses as a human being is my inability to double jump very well. So,
You read Ready Player One?
No.
It's really good. If you like gaming, you would like it because it's got a lot of the old games in it. But it's also just a good story. It's really interesting.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We read it on our book club last year, I guess. Yeah. And they're making a movie about it.
Cool.
And I got to meet the author and have him sign my book, and it was awesome.
Well, aren't you special?
Yes, that was the other thing. I keep forgetting. I remember once again during the middle of the show, I'm debating whether or not I'm going to buy Felicia Day's book and go ahead and pay and meet her at Comic-Con because she's going to be there. So
She's amazing.
I mean, yes, it's Felicia Day. And
My
she
vote is
retweeted or liked your tweet, didn't she?
yeah, she did.
See? So you can be like, hey, remember me? And she'll be like, no, but thanks
No,
for buying
absolutely not. She'll be like, I've literally got no sleep. I'm nursing a baby.
I have a newborn, please.
Exactly. Yeah.
About you. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She did just have a baby, like not long ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago.
It's funny seeing the pictures that she posts now. Seeing what her Instagram has gone from to what it is now is hilarious. It's just like, yep, been there, done that. Know what it's like to be the new parent.
What's our next topic, Eugene?
I don't know. I don't even have anything up on the calendar. I've been that out of it. So I'm going to have to kind of sit down and figure it out and come up with something. So, I mean, I've got a long list of stuff that we could do. It's just trying to figure out, what we want to do next. So,
yeah.